Anime Vanguards dropped update 3.5 for their game, which was the second iteration of the Fate update, about a day or so ago at the time that I'm recording this video. And now that I've thoroughly gotten to play most of it, barring a couple of units, since getting Death is going to take me a little while, so I'm not going to go for her just yet. But I've gotten to try out a good chunk of the units, most of the new content, and I think it's time to make yet another one of our honest review videos. Surprise, surprise, I wasn't quitting the game. Although I think I said that I was quitting it for 24 hours. I don't think it even lasted that much. It was like 12 hours. But, you know, we're back. We're well rested. And we're here to make this video. So I just want to get this started right out the gate. This update was incredibly good. This was an amazing, well executed, albeit it wasn't like completely free of bugs. There might have been the odd bug here or there, but for the most part, it was extremely smooth sailing. I thoroughly enjoyed this update, and I don't have many things that aren't positive to say about it. So, you know, the thumbnail may say the good and the bad, but to say that there was something bad in this update, I'd really have to be grasping at straws. There might be a thing, like a feature or two that I don't entirely agree with, that I just wouldn't personally add on a game design level. But to say that there were things that were objectively bad this update is kind of hard to do, because for a 0.5 update, not only is this one of their better updates in general, but for a 0.5 update, this came out in a pretty timely manner, and it has a lot of cool units to grind for, and the game mode itself doesn't feel like a slog. So let's just get into what exactly they added this update. So for update 3.5, we had 4 new units. We had Sakura. We had Saber, Evil Saber, like a red and black Alter Saber. We had a new mythic unit in the banner, and we had a new world line secret, which was Death. I don't know why I struggle to pronounce her name sometimes, but yeah, 4 new units, all of which have their own respective evolutions. They have their own cool little passives. My favorite unit this update by far is Sakura, because she is probably the most unique unit in the game. She is super duper cool. If you don't know what she does, she's basically just full AoE off placement. She does very little damage, but she does constant AoE damage to any enemies that are within her range. So the best way that I can describe her is, if you play BTD6 and you've used the submarine monkey, and you use that one path where he turns radioactive and he submerges underwater, that's the best way that I can describe Sakura. Those types of units I've never seen in an anime tower defense game before. I really do think this is the first iteration of that we've ever seen on Roblox, and it was executed pretty well. And I'm always happy to see Anime Vanguards adding more of these unique units that serve their own specific niche use cases, because it makes the gameplay that much more fun. It makes team building more fun. You have more options to choose from. And Saber, the Secret Saber, she's super good, but she's more of a standalone unit than anything else. I mean, she does synergize with Sakura, but besides that, she's anti-synergy on every other unit. So you kind of want to be careful, like what you're going to use her for and who you're going to bring her with. Lilia is a summon unit. I haven't seen an Evo showcase of her, but I do believe she summons. And Death is basically just like super duper strong, super meta, really great passives. I believe she's a slow unit, and she applies some special type of effect on enemies. I haven't looked too much into that though, but that's the new units. We also got a new boss event, which is how you obtain the Saber secret. The obtainment method for her as well is really, really cool. It's something that we haven't seen in the game before. Basically, you have to wait for a special enemy to spawn. You place 3 sabers down, and they automatically get corrupted. And every single time that you place one down, there's a small chance that you pull the secret, which is super duper cool. It's a unique obtainment method that doesn't just boil down to the usual formula of grind for X unit that has X drop chance, and that's it. Although, I guess she technically does have a drop chance. I think she's 0.75% to get her. The way that you go about trying to obtain her is cool and different, is what I'm trying to say. So, yeah, besides the new map, the new boss events also got a little bit of a rework. They got some new additions. They have multiplayer functionality. There's the new servants mechanic within the boss rush, which I think is also super duper cool, just because it lets you build your team around the servants. The servants themselves are extremely strong. When I first started playing the update, I underestimated them completely. I thought that they weren't that game changing, but depending on what servant you have, there are just a whole, that opens a lot of doors. There's some strategies that you can't get away with unless you're using a specific servant, and I think that is super duper cool. The way that you get the servants is nice too. You don't just automatically unlock them. You do have to go and craft the Evo item for that servant to start using them, which is a little bit inconvenient, but I get why they want to do that. Just so there's a little bit more replayability in the game within this update, and people don't just start off with every single servant. You do get one free servant, I believe, because I just started the game with the free one, the one that like he throws a big rock, but each servant does something different, and they each serve their own use case depending on what you want to do for that run. So that is also super duper nice. Gotta mention that in the positives. Let's see, what else? Boss Rush Overhaul, we already talked about that. Public Matchmaking, we already talked about that. Sand Village got a remake. I don't think too many people are going to be head over heels for this, but the new map does look nice, so that's also worth mentioning for the good. And that's about it. We also got some various quality of life changes, which are nice. My favorite one being there is an in-game menu for elemental reactions now, instead of having to search it up on the wiki. That is an absolutely welcome addition, because I think a good rule of thumb for any Roblox game is if it requires you to use external websites, like going on the wiki or the Trello, to find out how to do things, I find that to be pretty lame and just shortcomings in terms of game design from the devs, like on the dev side, right? Because if your game needs to be like looked up in order to enjoy, like if there's things that you'll just never figure out unless you look up a guide for someone that found out about it a year after you, and it's super duper obscure, I think that's just poor game design on the developer end of things. Although that argument might not hold true for some other games on Roblox. You get what I'm trying to say. I think it's lame that you have to go look stuff up. So the fact that it's in the game now, and that was arguably the only thing that was missing from their little in-game explanations, because the game already does a pretty good job at telling you everything that you need to do within the game. So that quality of life change is also extremely, extremely nice. And that's about it. We also got some various bug fixes. That's the good. Now, if you're looking at the timestamp for this video, you might notice that we're nearing the end of it and I haven't even gotten to the bad. And that's because, to be honest with you, I don't have much bad things to say about it. I don't even have that much constructive criticism, because there's not many things that I think they could have done better. I really, really enjoyed this update. The only thing that might even be like a semblance of bad, and I say bad in air quotes because this is like a monumental reach, is the starting player questline. I personally think the game is becoming a little too handholdy if you're just giving new players a guaranteed mythic that'll carry them throughout the whole story. But that's just my personal opinion, right? I'm sure new players like are gonna have a lot more fun if they can get a unit at the start of their journey, so they're not just gonna be praying to the slot machine in order to get some good mythic so they can progress easier in different game modes and in the story. And at the end of the day, it's not a huge deal if they give away a free Vegeta, because number one, Vegeta's good, but he's not S tier anymore. He gets outclassed by Lancer. Lancer is just a better Vegeta, so it's not that big of a deal. And on top of that, getting one mythic isn't really going to make the difference between being able to beat story mode and being able to become a #1 leaderboard player. You're still going to have a long way to go regardless of whether you had the mythic or not. So it's not a huge thing. I just personally think it makes the game, at least the early game, kind of a joke. But at the same time, can you even call that bad? That's more of a personal nitpick than genuine constructive criticism, so I can't even put that into the bad. In fact, this video might not have a bad section at all. To end off this video, I just want to say that whatever Anime Vanguards is doing behind the scenes to push out content in 2 weeks, and it be this like well thought out and well made, dude, shit, keep doing it, dude. I don't know how long it took the last 0.5 update to come out. It felt like a lot longer than 2 weeks, I'll tell you that much. And I know that the next update is going to be a full number update, so we're going to go from 3.5 to 4, meaning there won't be that much content to cover for a hot minute, because those updates do take longer. But this, for what it is, a smaller batch of content to keep players satiated until we get a larger update, it's perfect. Like, in my eyes, it is as close to perfection as you can get. Good game mode, really strong units to use, nice quality of life additions. Really no complaints from me on that end. Anime Vanguards is on a pretty good run the time that I'm making this video, and it feels good to make something that's mostly positive. In fact, almost entirely positive. Not too many things for me to say after that, so I'm just going to end the video here. I know it said the good and the bad. I guess if you really want to grasp straws, like I said, I think it's bad that starting players get a free mythic for just doing a tutorial. I think that makes the game a little too easy, but I digress. That's just a personal opinion anyway, so who cares? With all that being said, that is going to be it for me. Thank you guys for watching. If you made it till the end of the video, have a great day or night wherever you are. Stay tuned for more content, and we will catch you in the next one.